Well, 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 what do we have here? Welcome back to the Boss Wizard Crypto Group, and I have another Bitcoin update for you. In our last update, and the update before that, um, I said the most probable, whoops, I didn't want to do that, the most probable scenario to happen for Bitcoin, it was going to make a new high above this high here. Okay, and that is exactly what we've done. Okay, and the most probable scenario is that this structure right here is not bullish in any way. Okay, it is just a counter trend to the move down from 69,000, which we got a zigzag here, three-wave move into a W. Okay, now it could have been done there, right? You get your simple correction, your zigzag right here, could have been all done. And in which case you put in 5 and we're off to the moon, right? I had a lot of trouble getting 5 from the very outset of this wave here, okay? Because first of all, this very first one right here is not 5, it's 3. So I had my doubts, but I was willing to give it the benefit of the doubt, and it put in kind of a funky 5-wave move, but and to all my Discord followers knew at the time, and I was like, okay, if this is a 4 that we're putting in now to match this 2 down here, Bitcoin needs to prove it to us right now and put in a 5. And it failed to do that and broke down. So what we got was a series of 3-wave moves. 3 waves, 3 waves, 3 waves, 3 waves, 3 waves, and this is also going to be 3 waves. Okay. A couple ways to count this, but this is my preferred and most probable way to count this. By the way, everything I say in this video is my opinion. In my opinion only. It does not constitute any financial advice whatsoever. But I digress. How do we get out of this? Okay, well, there's only one way out of this. Okay, and that's to dump. But before we dump, I do think we get a higher high. Okay, I think we get an extension here. Okay, I do think this high will break, not by much, but I do think this high will break. It is possible that it's done, but I'll go into some more micro detail on why I don't think that it's done. But I do think we're going to get a higher high. Anyway, the count. Okay, big W, zigzag down from 69K. This whole thing's an X wave. Okay, I didn't like, as you saw in my last updates, that we were counting a potential triangle here in an X wave. I didn't like it. It was possible. Okay, definitely was possible at the time. It's no longer possible now since this high broke. Just so you know, that triangle theory is invalid. It was exactly what I thought it was going to be in a double combination move up here to make an X wave that will make a new high before we continue down. Okay? And that's what's playing out. But I do think a triangle is supported in this smaller X wave. Okay, so there are a couple ways we can count this. We can count this as an ABC, okay, where if you want to count this as 5, there is a way to count it as 5. It's not super awesome, but you know, it's a corrective move. So you can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, it doesn't look particularly awesome, but you can say that. All right, and that would be a 5. This would be a B wave, not an X. Okay, because we're talking about a simple correction now. So that would be an A, not a W. This would be a B, as a triangle here, triangle right here. Okay, and then we came out of the triangle. Okay, it would be another 5-wave move. All right, so you'd be, if this is counted as 5, you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're going to put in your 5. Okay, and that'd just be a simple zigzag. And this would be a C. Okay. The semantics really After that's semantics, is all it is, okay? By the look of it, right now at least, I prefer a double combination as opposed to a simple zigzag, because this looks like a three-wave move to me. That's all. That's the only difference. And for labeling purposes, okay, for this to be a W, W can only be three waves. Okay, anything W, X, Y can only be three waves. A Y wave, okay. There's actually a respected YouTuber out there that I have some respect for that counts Elliott wave as well, and he's got 5 waves here in a Y. This red Y I'm talking about, okay. That's not, it's semantics, but it's not legal. You cannot have 5 waves in a Y. It's not a thing. Y absolutely has to be 3 waves. Has to. There's no wiggle room around that. Has to be 3 waves. So how do we get 3 waves here? You know, there's a couple ways we can do it. Okay, this is hard to count, but it is corrective. Okay, so you can say inside of here you have 5. Okay, it's for an A and a B, and 1, 2. Put in your 3, put in your 4, and we're going to put in our 5 now. Okay, for a 3-wave move. And that's how I prefer to count this right now. I think either way, whether you want to count this as 5 and 5, okay, or a, well, let me dial that back a second. This does look like it's either a smaller zigzag, okay, so ABC right here, and this is going to be a double combination, okay, and this is very common to happen. Rarely do double combinations have parity, okay, it's rare. They can. I'm just saying it's rare. Usually you get this little teeny tiny zigzag, okay, and then you get a much bigger one. And remember that, because when I tell you my projection for the bottom right now, it's going to be the same type of thing. Okay? But regardless of how we want to count this in the end, okay, from a more technical side, I'm not going to get into all the technicals of it. I'm just showing Elliott wave counting in this, but we're looking for some sort of divergence here, okay, in an RSI or a stochastic or a MACD, or take your pick of whatever you want to look at. But we're looking for some kind of divergence here between the highs to mark that. All right, but regardless of how we want to count this in the end, and we'll only know when it's over, this pitchfork has been respected. Okay, and for full disclosure, I've stolen this method of the pitchfork from another YouTuber I highly respect, and that's Tom at Green Star Trading. So check his channel out as well, because he has a lot of great things to say. But this pitchfork, while he didn't teach me how to use a pitchfork, his method of setting up this pitchfork I liked very much and kind of adopted it as well. So you'll kind of see the same kind of pitchfork on his channel as well. But full disclosure, that's where I got it from. These are all fib levels, by the way. Okay. Inside this pitchfork. But this pitchfork is based on the most probable 1-2 pivot. Okay, macro 1-2 pivot in Bitcoin, dating all the way back to December 2018. Okay, and the whole time this price action has been contained within this pitchfork. Okay, and these fib levels create channels for price to temporarily be between. Okay, with the bulk of it happening right here in the middle. Okay. But if the reason I say that is because if we zoom down in and we look at what's happened since this low, it's all contained right here within the 38.2, that's what this green line is, the 38.2 and the 61.8. Okay, and it's contained within this channel, all price action. And I don't expect that to change at all. So if and when this puts in a higher high right here, you Okay, a little interruption in the video, but anyway, you can see these little wicks here. Okay, we acted as support here. We acted as resistance here. Okay, and you get a little wick, and you get a little wick. Okay. I think this is going to act as resistance as well. Okay. If we even make it up that high. But maybe a wick, maybe you hit it right to the tick. Okay, but I don't see anything bodying above this 38.2. All right, macro picture here. Remember I mentioned that these double combinations don't like to have parity. Okay. I do, however, expect at least a 61.8%. Okay, in Fibonacci relationship, which is also why in the background that I didn't really go much into the last updates, why I thought we were going to make a higher high here. Why I thought we were going to break this high is because where I think we're going to end up, which is in relation to this pitchfork. Okay, this is the outer bound of this pitchfork, by the way. Okay, I don't expect this outer bound to break. Maybe a wick, okay, sure, but not to body candles and come down here and do other stuff. All right, I do not expect the outer bound of this pitchfork to break. And if that's the case, okay, then I'm going to show you some cool fib stuff here in a second. But let's say we come up to here, just out of just pure projection. Okay, let's take a fib pull. And I'm talking about the 61.8. Because like I said, I don't think we're going to get a 1-to-1 here. Where is my fib extension? Okay, so we're going to come from the top to the bottom to our projected kind of top. It could end here, it could end here, who knows, right? And at our minimum expectation, doesn't have to stop there. I'm not saying that this is a target. I'm saying it's our minimum expectation. Okay, right here, if that marks a top. Okay, if it doesn't, okay, and it doesn't have to. Keep this in mind. None of these are targets. You know, maybe we just make a slightly higher high, okay, and that pulls that down a little bit more. All right, but regardless, okay, you are looking at an extension somewhere around here, around 32,000. Now, do I think 32,000 is the absolute bottom? Possibly, but no. I think we're going to come right back to these levels over here. Okay. Maybe just shy of it, maybe just through it, okay? But if we're talking about a range, okay, I'm essentially thinking of a range right in here for a bottom. Okay? Somewhere in this box. And it's going to be another zigzag. So why I say I don't expect parity. Okay, the 1-to-1 is going to be down here at 24,000. Okay, which would make this leg the same length as this leg if we got down to here. Right? That's the 1-to-1 parity. Rarely do these things put in 1-to-1 parity. They just don't. The reason you get a double combination is because the first simple correction was not far enough. That's what you get a combination for. So you get your first zigzag. It didn't go far enough. So you need a counter trend and another one. It's called a double zigzag to get down to where you need to be. Okay, which if we're talking about a flat pattern, okay. Now I'm not saying that this is not a simple flat. This is all part of a much bigger, see these red ones here, W, X, Y double combination. So you have a flat to start your double combination, expanded flat. Okay, that's actually mislabeled. That should be over here. Let me fix that. Don't know how that got moved over there, but it did. So 3, 3, 5, expanded flat to a zigzag. Okay, 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. It's labeled WXY, could be semantics. I'm not sure yet, but it's a three-wave move. Okay, just because I don't like the parody of it, that's all. That's why I labeled it WXY. Okay, because you kind of have what looks to me like two double zigzags. Because that looks like a zigzag, okay, and then that looks like a zigzag, and then you have a bigger X wave, kind of like we're experiencing here, all right, and that looks like a zigzag, okay. That's why I labeled it like that, but it's semantics really. I'm sure you can come down and find a way you can make that an A, a B, okay, and a C. You could do that too, and that's perfectly fine. Regardless, three-wave move, zigzag or double zigzag, zigzag family up for your bigger X, and almost assuredly a double zigzag down to finish your Y, which will look something like this. Okay, probably not that big. All right, it'll probably be probably something more like more rapid and quick. Okay, something like that. Okay, to make parity right along here. So maybe we get to the 786, right, which would be 28, 29, right? And now you have a very nice looking horizontal double combination flat. And that's what flat patterns do. Flat patterns trade the same range the entire time. Okay? That's my expectation. Now let's talk about a couple other possibilities. That is what I think is most probable. All right? Let's say, for instance, let me get rid of all this, these brushes and things. Okay? Let's say, for instance, that this is done. We're not going to make a higher high. Okay? So let's take a fib pool of the 1-to-1 there. Okay, so there's your 1-to-1. It's now down here at 23,000 if we don't make a higher high, right? That would mean if we go to the 1-to-1, okay, you're going to put in just as long, okay, as it took for this to happen, okay, and you're ending up around 23,000 somewhere. It is possible. I don't think it's as probable as what I have already explained, but it is a possibility. Okay, and you're going to look for other things towards the end of this, right? One, have you gotten 3 waves already, right? If you haven't, okay, and you've just gotten 1 wave to here, okay, that might just be 5. Well, then you have big questions, because one thing that this cannot be is a 5-wave move. Okay, this cannot be. There's no way for this leg to be 5 waves. It's not possible, because this is 5. That's 5, expanding diagonal there. This is a double combination. Okay. And this is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 3, 5. Zigzag. Okay. Or you can say 1, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, 3. But your 4, if this is a 4, cannot break into your 1. So therefore it is not valid to be an impulse. And if you measure it again, okay, let's do, I'm just going to prove it. It's a prove it moment, okay? So we're going to go ahead and prove it. You say, well, Gups, what about a diagonal? Okay, so again, we're going to call this 1, 2, 3, just for sake of conversation. 4, especially if it comes up, but it doesn't matter. Okay, 4. Say, okay, what about a diagonal? Well, your 1 is bigger than your 3. Okay, and we know that because we can measure it. Oops, wrong tool. Wrong tool. Okay, so if we measure it, boom. The 1-to-1 is down here at 31,395, and it didn't make it. So your 1 is bigger than your 3. So if this is diagonal, it has to be, the 4 has to be smaller than the 2. It's a rule. You can clearly see that the 4 is much bigger than the 2. Okay, but we're going to measure it anyway, just to prove it. Okay. Your 1-to-1 is down here at 41,240, and we blew past it in the first leg. First of all, this first leg of this broke any chance of this being a diagonal. Okay, but not only that, it broke it once, twice, 3 times, lady. Okay, cannot be, for this 4 to be valid, it could not have traveled past this 1-to-1 right here. Okay, it would have been a 3-wave move to there and there only before coming down in 5 for this to be a diagonal. And also, okay, that's not the only rule that would be broken, because it's impossible to be a diagonal, because if this is your 1, then the 4 has to enter the territory of the 2. Has to enter that territory, and the 1-to-1 doesn't allow it to. Therefore, it's not even legal to have a diagonal in the first place. So impulse is out because 4 entered territory of 2, not legal. Diagonal's out because 3 is shorter than 1, and there was no way for 4 to be legal to overlap 2 and be smaller than 2. Can't do it. The only option, we've eliminated it now. You don't have to think about it anymore because you have a 3-wave move, you have a 3-wave move, and you're going to get another 3-wave move. That's it. That's all you got to think about now, is what 3-wave move is going to get me and where's it going to end. Most probable spot to end is right here. And there are other options which I've explained. Okay. There are extensions we can get down. Let's measure that extension one more time. Okay. Let's just go ahead and assume this is done right now. Okay, even though it might not be. We'll just use the top here. 1-to-1 brings you down to 23. Okay. 1.236 brings you down to 19. Let me make sure I'm in linear here. Oh, I'm in log. Okay, so those are log targets, first of all. And we're going to check all of this in linear as well. Okay, because you got to check both. And the 1.618 brings you down to here, 14.6, which almost invalidates the entire structure, because this can't, that's not, you are now reaching levels of severe improbability. Okay. So what I'm going to do is now get rid of all this, and we're going to look at this same thing in linear. So I'm going to turn off the pitchfork for now. We're going to go to linear and look at it, and we're going to measure the same things. Okay. So again, most probable course of action. This is in linear. Minimum expectation, 61.8. So let's just guesstimate that we get a slightly higher high here. Okay, maybe 50. We'll call it 50. Okay. In linear, your expectation is down here at 28. Okay. Which is kind of right in this box where I was saying. Okay. Right in this box somewhere, as I think where we find a bottom for Bitcoin, and we come down in 3 ferocious waves. Okay, for a bigger 3-wave move, which is 61.8% the size of this one. All right, that's what I think is most probable. And now, as you can see in linear, for the 1-to-1, you come down here and now invalidate this wave in linear. You're now invalidating the entire structure that we've been working on since 2018 in December. You tell me what the probability of that happening is. Okay? That's why I say highest probability move. Okay, and maybe, let's say we put here, maybe we come up to 51,000, okay, to put in our higher high, which would put your 61.8 right at this structure base right there, okay? You would just put in another little move right here to finish it off and kaplowy, okay? Highly possible for that to happen. And that's pretty much it there. You can check right over here on the left side. For the last Bitcoin update, you can check right over here on the right side for the Bitcoin update from 2 times ago, and you can see how this whole analysis has progressed. Okay, this information I've given for months now, playing out right in front of our eyes. Don't forget to hit that like button. If you're not already, hit the subscribe button for me. It's free. I will not charge you a dime for subscribing to this channel. I will mention though, I have a Discord. I go through a lot more detail. I have live videos, live content that I put out to only Discord members. Discord members get exclusive early access to all of these videos. If you're not in the Discord and you're watching this video, there's people that have already seen it before you. First month is absolutely free. The link's down in the description. Only 25 bucks a month after that. You guys have a good one. Till next time, that's the Bitcoin update. Later.